If you're in the trenches with homeschooling, let me just give you a word of encouragement from a mom who's been homeschooling for 5 years. The first switch we need to make in our brains is our school is not public school, so it doesn't have to reflect how public school works. As a person who went to public school my whole life, that's all I knew. But as a mom, you are gonna quickly learn what works best for your family. When I first started out, I would literally just fit in homeschool where I could. I didn't have a schedule. And that was my biggest problem ever. And the reason why we didn't have a schedule was because I worked a full-time job at home. So if it was 8 o'clock at night, we were throwing it in at 8 o'clock at night. But with that came tantrums because I quickly learned my kids did not do good at school at night. 5 years in and we have a schedule. We wake up, I read the Bible, drink some tea, coffee, whatever we're doing, do breakfast. School is right after breakfast. TVs do not come on until school is done. I know a lot of people, like, they wake up and they put the TV on for the kids. It just don't work well for us. We do not turn on the TV at all until school is done. Kids thrive on routine. Adults thrive on routine. I know I do. I did as a kid and I still do now, and I know my kids do as well because they know what's coming and they know what to expect. Another big thing that I had to get out of my head about was what grade your kid is. It doesn't really go by grades in homeschool. It does, but it don't. You find your kid where they are. So if my kid is a little advanced in this or a little behind in a subject, I'm gonna meet them where they are. That's literally why homeschool is so special, because it is centered around your kid, not a whole classroom of kids and then just shoveling them along, no kid left behind. Another thing I wanna touch on is the growing pains of when you first start homeschooling. Homeschooling sounds so much fun before you actually do it, but then when you actually do it, it is a true commitment. Your child's education is solely put on your lap. And just like your child, some days they show up and they don't want to do school. Some days they're going to show up and you're not going to want to teach them, but you have to. Some people just automatically know, like, I can never homeschool my kid. I don't have the patience. And I felt like that was me fighting myself for the first 2 or 3 years, mainly because of my life at the time and how busy I was. And it was just one more thing added on my plate, but I really wanted to do it. I stuck through it and I'm so happy now because I feel like we're finally in that rhythm, that smooth sailing rhythm of homeschooling, and it is so nice. There's so much beauty in homeschooling because you get to see your child go through all these milestones, and when you finally teach your kid how to read and they're like a fluent reader, you just feel like you can conquer the world and you can totally take on this homeschooling task, because getting your child to read can be very difficult. With my son, he had no interest in reading. He hated it. And what's crazy now is that boy reads thick books every single day. He loves to read. It's so crazy to see that switch in him by he didn't know how to read, so it frustrated him, so he didn't have no interest in learning how to read. It was hard. And then once it became easier and easier, he reads so good. He just loves it. And that's one of the beauties in homeschooling, is seeing that flower just bloom. So if you're in the trenches, if you're in the thick of homeschooling, I promise you it gets better. Just hang in there. You are gonna find your rhythm.